Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. We have a wonderful guest in studio. It's Tim Perfitt. He's the president of Twocanoes Software. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about Twocanoes Software.
Sure. It started in 2012. I had been working for Apple for about a decade. I worked with enterprise customers and education customers to integrate Macs in their environment, as well as with CoreOS to do programming for a lot of kind of the enterprise features. So after I left Apple, I started Twocanoes Software right here in Naperville, Illinois. And we started off with our flagship product, WinClone, which allows you to, if you install Windows on your Mac, you can easily back it up and migrate it to another Mac. It kind of focuses on folks that are doing some IT stuff with their Macs.
How did you, we're going to explore your software in a little minute there, but how did that Apple background help you with Twocanoes?
Actually I got my master's degree in computer science when I was with Apple at Cal State Long Beach. I started out in Cupertino, working with actually in the training division when Mac OS X first started out, in kind of a technical component. And it was an interesting time because it was before the iPod was actually introduced. I think it was 2001. I started at 2001 and the iPod started at the same time. And it went all the way through the iPhone and the iPad and kind of the resurgence of the Mac. So it was a really kind of fascinating time to be part of, corporate Apple.
I bet. Well, and I think it gives you a great background to go out on your own and take some of the ideas and recognize some of the needs.
That's right.
And so you have a new software out because you recognized a need. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's a product called TCM. It stands for Twocanoes Management, and it allows you to manage your Macs instantly. So the idea is that if you have a handful or thousands of Macs and you wanted to be able to do something to them right away, send a command to them, you can do that instantly through a web browser. So the idea is that if you wanted to open up a web page, be able to reboot the machines, launch an application, lock the screen, you can do those kind of things with TCM just by going to a web browser, signing in and clicking on a button, and that action will take place on those Macs.
Who uses that kind of software? What's your target audience for that?
So we're focused mainly on education and the enterprise market for people that have a large number of Macs that have been deployed. And what we've seen in the last 10 years is really a resurgence of the Mac and a lot of people in large organizations deploying the Macs. K-12, higher ed, and enterprise are really embracing the Mac as being kind of the primary platform for them to use. And this piece of software allows them to it fills in a gap that allows them to manage their Macs in a way they couldn't before. Well,
it sounds like a time saver for me that you've got your IT professional that has to manage all these Macs for everybody, that individually going to each machine is a loss of time.
That's right, and it really takes care of that. If you have somebody to do urgent, some kind of task that's really urgent, so you might have other software that keeps the OS up to date or be able to install software. But what ours allows, what TCM allows you to do is be able to do something instantly. So if you wanted to take a screenshot and see what your students are looking at, or if you wanted to see what the kiosk in the front lobby, or help troubleshoot a problem, you could do that, or even send a command to it to help resolve the problem, and it happens instantly and get that feedback. So it really allows you to do something over a large number of Macs very quickly.
That's awesome. What gave you the idea for this new product? Why bring it to market?
So it came about through discussions with customers. We have a product called Boot Runner, which allows you to manage the selection of the operating system when somebody comes up to a Mac and they want to boot into Windows, maybe do an architecture program, or go into the Mac OS to be able to do QuickBooks or something like that. The administrator can completely customize that application and make it really easy for the person using the machine. And they wanted something to do something very kind of similar, but to different commands throughout their whole fleet of Macs. And so TCM came about from talking to customers about that kind of management of their Macs, that instant management.
See, I think that speaks so highly of you, Tim, and Twocanoes Software, because you listened to your customer, you heard their need, and then you created something for them. And I can't tell you how many times I have been with software going, I wish they'd do this. And here I could have told you, I wish you'd do this, and you did something. So that's wonderful. What there are other products out on the market that can do something similar to this. What sets TCM apart from those?
So TCM, what's kind of unique about TCM is it allows you to send the commands instantly from a web browser. So you don't have to install any software on the on the administrator or the instructor's computer. They just open a web browser, they go to it, and they can manage those Macs. And a lot of other products will have the ability to install software and make sure that it's up to date, kind of on a schedule, and not do it instantly. So TCM allows you to say, install this software right now, lock this machine, reboot this machine. So all those tasks that you need to do, that you want to get the class ready right before it starts, or you're going into a big meeting and you want to run an inventory, TCM allows you to do that from any computer. As long as you have the credentials to log in, you could then send those commands and get that job done.
Wow. And you mentioned a key word there, credentials. This sounds great, but in today's IT world and our concern with security, how do you manage the security with all this access?
So security is really important for TCM. As you can imagine, you wouldn't want other people to be able to send commands to your Mac. So we built in security from the ground up, and we have enterprise level encryption between the browser and what we call the TCM console. That's the one that kind of manages all the communication. And then all the clients, all the different Macs use that same security and have individual credentials. So we put a high priority on security, and it's baked in from the beginning.
That's the best place to put it. Tim, if somebody is watching and listening and wants to know where they can get this great new software, how do we get our hands on it?
So the best place to go is our website, twocanoes.com. You can also send an email to info@twocanoes.com, and we're going to be offering webinars and demos where people can go on the site, sign up, and be able to see the different, just be able to ask questions and see how the software works. And you'll also be able to download a full-featured trial version of it and install it on your Macs and be able to kind of kick the tires and see how it works, and for a couple of weeks before you can decide if it works for you. So we're really excited to see people start downloading it and being able to finding a new way to manage their Macs.
Well, I think it's great. Thank you so much for stopping by and telling us all about this. We wish you continued luck, and we know you're going to be super successful.
Great. Thank you, Liz.
We'll be right back with more Business Connection. Stay tuned.